Hi, good morning, it's Dan. Hope you're well today. So, in this video, I want to talk to you about how you should be creating more content and the type of content that you should be creating. So, in the olden days, which was like at least a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, the content that you would be creating was a lot of long form content, a lot of long form podcasts, a lot of long form YouTube videos and just normal videos, right? So that was fine, it worked for a bit, and then increasingly so, and I'm sure you find this as well, your attention span is probably dreadful. I know mine is. Like, I can't even watch Netflix without checking my mobile phone. My attention span is just utterly dreadful, and I think it's the same for everybody else as well. Their attention span is just as bad, and so is yours. And so the type of content now has to be changed. Now, there's some people that will still watch that long form content, so I'm not saying that you remove the long form content, but you need some long form content, and in addition to that, you're going to need some short form content. Now, do you need to go out and just create short form content all on its own? You can do. That's one way of doing it. Might be a little bit more time consuming. But the other way of doing it is where you create a long form piece of content, like a podcast, maybe 20 minutes, 10 minutes even. And then from that, you pull out smaller extracts from that longer form piece of content. Now, obviously, that's fairly time consuming to do, because you have to pull out, you know, if you do 10 minutes, you have to remember, oh, this bit is 6 minutes 56, this is a good bit, I'll remember that. And then obviously you don't. So you have to rewatch your content and pull it out. So actually, which one is quicker? And I don't really have an answer for that. It just depends on what systems you've got in place and what you're more comfortable doing. I know, for example, Russell Brunson, he just wrote 60 shorts, 60 headlines for his YouTube shorts, and then he recorded all 60. It took him a day. For me, that would take like 60 minutes, 1 minute each, you know, bang, 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 bang. And I think that's really a better way of doing it, is not spending a huge amount of time creating these 60 shorts or 30 shorts. You know, 30 shorts is one a day. You produce them in the morning, and then you schedule them in the afternoon to go out one a day for the next 30 days. That's a really nice way of doing it. And actually, we're usually a couple of days ahead on our content, and we were shipping out a lot of content right now anyway, and we're trying to get ahead. We're trying to get to like a week ahead. And also, some of the content that we put out is dependent on what's going on in the marketplace. So for example, we might put out a piece of content that's talking about Bank of England base rates that's just changed this morning. Well, we can't schedule that in 2 weeks time because it's now out of date. We scheduled a piece of content this morning which talked about Shopify, how they've now added a thing on their meetings, so you can now allocate, you can now work out how much each meeting has actually cost. Nice bit of kit, nice bit of software. But we couldn't release that in 2 weeks because that would be out of date as well. So we get that bit of information, we write an article about it, and then we ship it out, and that goes out the next morning. It's gone out this morning, we wrote the article yesterday. So you've got to work out what sort of content is evergreen as such. And by the way, evergreen, two things. One is, it means you can reutilize that content in a year, 5 years, because it's not dependent on the time. And second of all, when you're creating evergreen content, it means that you can reuse it again in another year's time. So you can reuse it today, you can reuse it in 6 months, and you can reuse it in a year's time as well. And having a combination of evergreen type of content plus latest news type of content, all of that stuff will work really well for you. So with your content then, you need evergreen content, you need newsworthy content, you need long form podcasts and videos. So you do a long form video, you pull out the podcast, and then from that, the next type of content that you need would be the shorts, where you're pulling out the shorts. Then all of that has to get scheduled. It sounds like it's an awful lot of work, and do you know why that is? Because it's an awful lot of work, which is why we come in and we do that for all our clients. That's basically what we do. We're an outsourced marketing team, an outsourced marketing department, and we come up with new ideas, we help you implement them, and then we schedule them and publish them for you. That's how it should work. Instead of you having to do all of this. Now, do you think it's not worth it? Well, it depends on how much you value your business. You know, we've had these conversations quite a bit, haven't we? Where we're like, you either do this and you get seen and you get noticed and you close business and you drive more traffic and you make more money, or you don't. Like, how else are you going to get your head above to get seen? You're not. So your business is going to basically fail because your competitors are doing this stuff. Even if you're not, your customers are seeing your competitors do this stuff. Guess where your customers are going to end up going? It's like a do or die in your business. If you don't do this, your business is going to die. No question about it. This is what business looks like in 2023 onwards. Gone are the days where you place an advert in the yellow pages. Long gone. I don't think that's coming back anytime soon. Content is where it's going to be. And if you're not on that bandwagon, your business is going to fail.